Welcome back to day 4 of the 5th annual Charley Awards. I'm your host and track announcer, Paul Espinosa, as today we will hand out the hardware for the top older West Virginia breds that we saw on the racetrack here in 2020, and some very talented runners as per usual here in these categories, and some tough decisions, more so on the male side, as again I think that you'll see on the filly and mare side that there was just one campaign that was just too tough to ignore. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the nominees for the top older filly and mare West Virginia bred here on the 5th annual Charley Awards. First, Anna's Bandit. She won the original gold, as well as finished second in the Geisha down at Laurel Stakes, and finished third in the Barbara Fritchie, a grade 3 down at Laurel, as well as third in the Dashing Beauty at Delaware. She banked over $78,000 and only made 4 starts this year, but never finished out of the trifecta. Second nominee, Bridging the Gap. She was the winner of the Cavada Breeders' Classic as well as the Sadie Hawkins Stakes, and she was second in the My Sister Pearl. She was 6 for 11 on the year and banked over $173,000. Finally, your third nominee, She Figures. She was the winner of the West Virginia Roger Ramey Breeders' Classic Distaff, presented by Bow Ridge Farm, 4 for 7 on the year and earned over $76,000. And while, again, it's tough to ever ignore a West Virginia bred placing in a graded stakes, just from start to finish, the best campaign that we saw on the racetrack here at Charlestown in 2020 goes to the winner of the Charley Award for older filly and mare. It's Bridging the Gap. And again, just another, stop me if you've heard of this before, another offspring of Fiber Sand, who just runs off the screen. A very talented filly that look forward to seeing more of her. She's already made a start here as a 5-year-old and looked good in 2021, and we'll look forward to what the future has in store for her as well. But we'll look back on her win now in the West Virginia Cavada Breeders' Classic, where she was just utterly dominant. Bridging the Gap turns them in here with Lady Storm. Then comes Sherwood Lady down at the rail, and Sia Manana. Bridging the Gap, just too good. And it's a banner night for Fiber Sand. He just keeps on rolling. Bridging the Gap wins the West Virginia Cavada Breeders' Classic by 5.5 lengths. Lady Storm checks in second. Then Sherwood Lady and Grace Elizabeth in 125 and 3. And big congrats go out to her connections, owner, trainer John McKee, breeder Don Kane, and again, her regular pilot Rashawn Latchman. They make a fantastic combination, and look forward to seeing some of these fillies. Hopefully you add a couple more back into the mix. Star of Night, going to be a year older now. She's an older filly and mare. I think this division is going to be loaded this year, hoping to see everybody stay on track, and look forward to a Cavada for the ages later on in 2021. But with the filly and mares now taken care of, let's move on to one of the most contentious categories on the Charley Awards this year, the older male West Virginia bred. It was a very tough category to kind of dissect and analyze, and to even come up with just 3 finalists was tough, but we did. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and give you those now. The nominees for the top older male Charley Award for 2020. First, Dr. Feelgood. Of course, the winner of the Charley Award for Top Sprinter. He won the It's Only Money, as well as the West Virginia Dash for Cash Breeders' Classic, presented by Rockwool. Second nominee, Penguin Power. He won the Confucius Say and the Onion Juice Breeders' Classic, and was third in the Dave's Friend down at Laurel. He banked over $104,000 and never finished out of the trifecta from 6 starts. Finally, Runnin' to Love Ya. He won the Frank Gall Memorial and finished third this year in the Charlestown Classic. Of course, a grade 2 event, and thanks in large part to that performance, banked over $113,000 on the year. And so, this is a very tough award. I don't feel like there were a lot of wrong answers, certainly, with some of the performance. We didn't even get to include VIP Ticket, who's another up-and-coming older West Virginia bred male. But this year, for at least one more year, the award for top older male goes to Runnin' to Love Ya. And I think a lot of that comes down to that performance in the Charlestown Classic. Again, he ran huge that night, and it's tough to kind of weigh the unfortunate lackluster performances that we saw subsequently from that in the West Virginia Breeders' Classic, as well as the Awevo. But when it came down to deciding between Runnin' to Love Ya and Penguin Power, Runnin' to Love Ya did win 2 of their 3 head-to-head matchups this year. And obviously there were some extenuating circumstances in all of those races this year between those two. And who's to say right now, I think Penguin Power might be the sharpest West Virginia bred in training. But as far as the resume put on paper for last year, it's tough to beat a runner that that has that graded stakes, that grade 2 placed performance, and so that is indeed what Run Until Love You had. We'll take a look now at his performance in the Frank Gall Memorial, where it was an eventful journey for both he and Penguin Power. A Frank Gall Memorial for the ages. Here's the replay of the stretch run.
Penguin Power and Run Until Love You, these two renew their rivalry inside the quarter pole. The half in a bruising 46-1. Penguin Power well out in the center of the racetrack. Run Until Love You trying hard. North Atlantic's going to come through along the inside, and they're out in the 6 or the 7 path here. Penguin Power and Run Until Love You, and North Atlantic gets the garden trip along the inside. Run Until Love You outside of Penguin Power, and North Atlantic dives to the rail. The Gray Rocket has found the front. North Atlantic, Penguin Power gives way. It's Run Until Love Ya in the Frank Gall Memorial by 3 parts of a length from North Atlantic, Penguin Power, and Rush to the Castle. The final time, 1:26 flat. The Gray Rocket back in the winner's circle.
And so congratulations again go out to Graham's Racing Stable, Tim and Judy Graham's, the breeder Leslie Cromer, as well as his regular pilot Christian Geraldo, the jockey who rode him most in 2020. The Gray Rocket got the job done in terms of the Charley Award for top older male West Virginia bred. We'll see what he has in store. It's again been an up and down roller coaster a little bit here for over the past 18 months or so, not just for Run Until Love You, but for all of us, I guess. So we'll see if he can get back on track and show that form that we saw from him back in 2019. Certainly would love to see it, as again it could set the stage for a fantastic handicap division for the West Virginia bred males in 2021. But that brings to a close day 4 of the 5th annual Charley Awards. That means only one day left. It's time to hand out the award for Horse of the Year here on the 5th annual Charley Awards, and it comes your way tomorrow, Friday, here from Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races.